Okay, so today we're gonna be discussing limits of a function. The limits of a function can be calculated by substitution, and essentially it's what is the y value for this x value. That's essentially what we're studying here with limits of a function. Limit as x approach a, f of x equals L, and that's the formula. That's the formula for limits. Alright, let's get started. So we have the formula all circled right here. The limit can be discovered by substitution or by analysis of a chosen graph of a function, but except with intermediate forms, which we will study later on. The limit of f of x as x approaches a equals L. So we have left side limit and we have right side limit. The limit of x approach a with a minus symbol, f of x equals L, indicates that its number is less than a. So what is that number approaching, but with numbers less than a? So going left or before the x approaches a. The right side limit is x approach a with a plus symbol, limit f of x equals L, and that indicates numbers more than a. So numbers more leading up more to a, what does the limit equal? If the left side limit does not equal the right side limit, the limit does not exist. Okay. So that's f of x equals 2x plus 4. That's what the graph would look like. So we can calculate the limit by substitution or analysis of this chosen graph. So I'm going to do a few questions here. So as you see here, the limit as x approaches 1 equals 6. Or it's supposed to be 6. I think the graph is a little lopsided. And we calculated it by substitution. An analysis of this chosen graph. So analysis of this chosen graph, as x approaches 1, the y value is 2. So the limit is 2. And we calculated that by substitution. So it's essentially, for each x value, what is the corresponding y value? That's essentially what the limit is. Okay, on to the next graph. So we can't do this by substitution. What we can do is look at the analysis of the graph. It's a piecewise function, so it's -2 if x element of squiggly circle bracket -infinity to 1. So we have that here. And that's the open circle because it's not a square bracket, it's a circle bracket. So it's reaching, but it's not equal to. And then we have x minus 3 if x element of square bracket 1 and infinity. So we have the dot. And then so on and so forth for that portion of the graph. So the limit of x approach 1 minus, it is approaching -2. As you can see, it approaches -2. So as x for the values before 1, it is approaching -2. So for the values before it is approaching -2. For the values after, it is approaching -2. And because left side limit equals right side limit, the limit is -2. If they were different, then it would do not exist. But they're the same. So the limit as x approaches 1, f of x equals -2. Okay, so open circles mean that it is equaling to that value, but it's not that value. So if you were to plug in for the y value, you would get inclusive results. So we're going to analyze this graph. Use graph of g of x to state the value of each quantity if it exists. So we're going to go through these questions and we're going to analyze what is the limit. So as as x approaches negative 2 of g of x, what is the y value? As you can see, as it approaches negative 2, the y value is 12. So the y value is 12. Now on to b. What is the limit as x approaches 0 of g of x? As x approaches 0, the limit is 1. What is the limit of x approaches 2? But it's the left side limit of g of x. As x approaches 2, the limit is negative 3. This is what I was mentioning before. Because it's an open circle, the results of g of 2 would be inconclusive. So it does not exist. Okay, so for the limit as x approaches 2, but the right side limit, so as it's approaching from the right, the limit is again negative 3. The limit as x approaches 2, because the left side limit and the right side limit are the same, the limit would be negative 3. And now, the limit of x approaching 5, but the left side limit, the left side limit as x approaches 5 would be 6. G of 5, because this is an open circle and this is a closed circle, the results of g of 5 would be 6. The limit, the right side limit, as x approaches 5 from the right would be 12. And so because the left side limit and the right side limit do not equal each other, as limit as x approaches 5 of g of x does not exist. Okay, well, I hope you found this very helpful. That's all that we have for today, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.